Hello, I'm glad to be with you today. To share with you, today is the feast of those martyrs of Rome in the year 64, during the time that Neron was there. All these Christians, all these people who died because they believed in Jesus Christ. People, simple people like you, like me, very simple people, but who loved and who followed Jesus. And they weren't people who were perfect, but just normal people who had their faith put in Jesus. I just want to share with you a few of the... it's a book that came from L'aide à l'Église en détresse, and that talks to us about the martyrs of today. People who are dying today because of their faith in Jesus. And most of them are missionaries working in different countries, but who had all the occasion to come back to their country, because the situation, political situation usually is not easy. But all of them who died chose to stay with these people that they loved and for whom they had given their life. Last year, a lady was saying, a mother of from Egypt. She said that she was celebrating the 5th anniversary, a 5th anniversary really special. And she had a lot of suffering in her heart. But she said, I'm celebrating the martyr of my, not one son, but my 2 sons who were, how do you say, decapitated? And she said, I am the proud mother, and I'm proud of them, of 2 martyrs who are in heaven now with God, and who are praying for my husband and for me and for all our family. I'm proud of my sons. We have this one in Syria. It's a priest of 75 years old. One morning in 2014, he was killed. He's a Jesuit. He was killed. He was in his convent, and a man came with a mask and asked to see him. And he went to the door, and there he was just shot. He had been in this country for 50 years, just imagine. 50 years he was missionary there, and people are still crying because they love him so much. And this is the kind of martyrs that we see today. We have this nun in Somali that she was a nurse, and she was one night coming back from the hospital with a Muslim man with his 4 children. She was working with the children especially, and as she came back home with this family, somebody met her and just killed her like that, just like that. And the last words she said before dying in 2006 was, forgive, forgive, forgive. She lived like Jesus. She loved, she served, she died like Jesus, saying, I forgive. And this last one, Veronica, there are many more, but I just wanted to tell you about 2 or 3. In 2016, she's a nun from Slovakia. She's working in Sudan, and one day she's also a doctor. She went in the countryside and she visited a family. The mother was there ready to give birth to a child, so she said, you come up in my ambulance and we're going to the hospital. It will be better for you and for the child. And as she was driving her ambulance to the hospital, then she met a few people there, a few the people from the Liberation Army who just asked her to come down out of the ambulance, and they just killed her. A few years before, her congregation wanted to call her back, and she said, no, Jesus wouldn't do that, and I gave my life to him, so I'm going to follow his footsteps, whatever goes. One day, if we recall all this, it's just to remember where love can, where love can conduct us. John Paul II went to Mexico and he prayed in the cemetery where Monsignor Romero was. And he said, I'm not coming here to condemn anyone. I'm just coming here to pray, to recall, and never to forget that the fate of my people today comes from the blood of those martyrs. And we can just turn to the Lord today and say, it is you, Jesus, that we are still crucifying. It is you, Jesus, who is martyred. To you, Jesus, in you, Jesus, I put my trust. Support the faith of your church. You know that people are losing their work, their jobs. Fathers are losing their jobs because they're Christians. They're losing their homes. Priests, missionaries are being killed. And the only reason is because they love you and they're Christians. Please, Jesus, never permit that we say no to your love, but that we always go forward and proclaim our faith in your love. Amen.